We got another zombies map in Black Ops 6. The Tomb! But what did it mean? Where are we going next? And why are our main crew not talking in the cutscene? Well, let's find out.
Don't know anything about me.
To quickly get everyone up to speed, our 4 main crew had been locked up after Samantha Maxis sacrificed herself to defeat the Forsaken. Peck and Maya then broke them out after a few years and they discovered an AI created by Richtofen that was infused with Samantha Maxis' memories. At the same time, we know that the AI has kind of gone insane and destroyed the Liberty Falls facility, abducting Richtofen in the process. Then we met up with Ravenov, an old friend of Maxis's in Citadel des Morts, and attained the Obscurus Altilium, an amulet of mysterious powers. We also learned from Gabriel Kraft, the professor from Vanguard Zombies, that he is Richtofen's adopted father, after both Sam and Eddie were dropped into the Reset universe homeless. He tells the crew to go to the dig site, where they will find the Sentinel artifact. The Sentinel artifact is one of 4 devices used thousands of years ago to manipulate a matter known as Prima Materia, the building block of the entire universe. These were seen in the Chaos storyline, which has recently been canonized into the Dark Ether story. If you want to learn more about this part of the story, be sure to check out my video on what the Citadel des Morts cutscene meant, linked in the corner now. Despite no intro cutscene, our crew take a short helicopter ride with Raptor 1 over to the Tomb, a dig site in Avalon. Once arrived, the Obscurus Altilium starts speaking and the voice of Sir Archibald Fotherington Smythes is heard. This voice is not replying to our characters and is instead an echo from the past. Everything he's saying is actually what he said to his crew of excavators. Archibald was an eccentric and traditional old man, with his eyes set firmly on fame within the field of archaeology. He had recently come back from Cairo after narrowly escaping after stealing an Egyptian mummy from the Cairo Museum and claiming it to be his own find. He was also old friends with a man named Alistair Rhodes. Rhodes was a main character in the Chaos storyline and was obsessed with the Sentinel artifact. He was also the father of Scarlet Rhodes, the main character of Chaos. The timeline here is a little bit confusing, so I will try my best to explain, but rest assured that I will be making a full Chaos timeline video with all of the new links to this new universe very soon. While Scarlet was a little girl, she helped Alistair be lookout while he stole an artifact from the London Museum. He was caught by the police and Scarlet was put into the care of aunties for the rest of her childhood, not seeing her father again. In the early 1900s, Alistair travels around the world and collects items related to gods of the past. There he befriends Shaw, Diego and Bruno from the Chaos storyline. Each character individually helps Alistair escape assassination from a cult known as the Order, who were also after the items he was collecting. Bruno even died protecting him and was brought back by Rhodes using the Scepter of Ra. The Order were a group of cultists originating in the Roman Empire, the leader being known as the High Priest of Chaos. The High Priest became seemingly immortal after completing a ritual in Egypt, seen in the map 9, but was scarred by Prima Materia all over his face. Not relevant right now, but it's worth noting that when the Scepter of Ra is used to bring someone back from the dead, they are brought back as a secret agent of the Order, as is what happened with Bruno and eventually Shaw. This is potentially because the ritual that the High Priest completed was the Trial of Ra. In the 1910s, Alistair hires Archibald to explore the tomb, but does not go himself. He gives Archibald a monocle made of the glass used in Galileo's telescope. In this universe, Galileo wasn't just a mathematician astronomer, but also an alchemist. The monocle is made of a specific quartz that allows the occult to be seen, including in hidden areas. Alistair obtained it in Florence from a museum with the help of Stanton Shaw. Scarlet used it as a kid to burn some ants. After reaching the subterranean temple, he uses the Obscurus Altilium to open up the Dark Ether Nexus, where they become stuck for over a month. Archibald's valet, a man named Potts, eventually gets tired of Archibald's insistence to keep going deeper, and takes some of the men to find a way out. After a day, Potts returns as a zombie, and Archibald is forced to stab him in the eye. Eventually, Archibald is eaten by a mimic, with the monocle being left inside of the creature. After the failed expedition to find the Sentinel artifact by Rhodes, Alistair realises he is soon to be kidnapped by the Order, and contacts his daughter to get in contact with the rest of the Chaos crew, which begins the Chaos storyline. Rhodes is last seen in Delphi, turned to stone by Medusa, but not necessarily dead. Coming back to the present, our crew follow Archibald's echoed instructions on how to build the Staff of Ice. It is not yet clear exactly how the staff, once held by Takeo during the Great War and Origins, ended up in an ancient catacombs. Murals on the wall of the tomb, as well as purple fire hung from the ceiling, work as a ritual and puzzle and gift each part of the staff. With the staff built, a code appears in the sky of the Nexus and allows our crew to teleport to a platform above the Nexus, where an orb of power can then be escorted to upgrade the staff. Finally, Access to the Sentinel artifact, seen just across from a broken bridge, is kept behind a series of sacrifices that include killing vermins, parasites, doppelgasts, and amalgams. The bridge appears, and our crew activate the artifact, which creates what is essentially an evil Fall Guys game, avoiding lasers and destroying copies of itself. Once the ritual is complete, Weaver grabs it and they make their way to the surface, and are picked up by Raptor 1. Now, we'll get onto the ending cutscene. Due to the voice actors strike and Activision's refusal to pay their staff fairly, who absolutely made what the franchise is today, we get an ending cutscene made up of AI Samantha Maxis, not voiced by Julie Nathanson, giving us an info dump regarding the Sentinel artifact. She first mentions that this artifact is one of 4 known to historians. By looking at the design, the one Weaver is holding is the same artifact found on the map Voyage of Despair, being transported on the Titanic. It was presumed lost at sea, buried with the ship. It is the Odin artifact. Rhodes File 118, brought up by AI Maxis, mentions that in ancient Egypt, the Dark Ether god known as Cortifex used his power to influence the pharaoh Amenhotep to feed the Sentinel artifact's power using shards of Tempest. Cortifex temporarily became the Archon in Vanguard zombies and was last seen falling into a bottomless cavern in the Dark Ether. We don't know what the Tempest shards are, but the SAM AI mentions that to activate the artifact, an infusion of exotic materials is needed, of which can be found at Liberty Falls. Knowing that Richtofen was researching space-time disruption, and the word Tempest meaning time in Latin, things will be ramping up quickly in the next map. It also mentions that the Tempest shards are what give the Gates of Duat their power. The Gates of Duat are in Egyptian mythology, where souls are judged, much like how the Sentinel artifacts are used to judge a person's worthiness. This is also similar to how the Construct judges Cortifex to be worthy of being the Archon in Vanguard zombies. Cortifex is also confirmed to be the creator of at least one, if not all, of the Sentinel artifacts. Gabriel Craft's notes also tell how the artifacts are used as batteries to store prima materia, and are full once the ovals at the centre of the artifact are lit up, known as the ringed receptacle. We then see more of what Richtofen is researching, including parthenogenesis. This is the science of asexual reproduction, where life forms from an unfertilized egg. This could be used to bring back his family that died in the fire, likely caused by the real Maxis and Weaver. The SAM AI may want to use it to create a physical body for herself. Now, before talking about the Liberty Falls mansion, the location of the next map, there are a few Easter eggs that I also want to include here. There are lines of code as AI Sam moves through information which include Eddie is a liar, a common phrase all throughout zombies alluding to Richtofen not being trustworthy, and have faith in chaos, a phrase seen in Liberty Falls teasing the return of the Chaos storyline. We also see the names of power-ups, such as Max Ammo and Insta-Kill. While probably being an Easter egg, it could allude to the SAM AI being in control of the zombies and causing the outbreaks, such as what happened in Liberty Falls when she initially broke free from Project Janus. Hey, quickly, remember to like and subscribe, it really helps out and we're on the road to 10k, woo! Now we'll focus on the location of the next map, the Liberty Falls mansion, now known as Shattered Vale. We're heading there because that's where AI Maxis is physically located, in the basement trapped in her spherical, Sophia-like body. Not to spoil it, but it is likely that she'll betray our team, as she hasn't been fully truthful with what her goal is, or how she was freed. The mansion is named Shem's Folly, after the man that built it, Josiah Shem. Shem was the leader of a cult who engaged in a mass suicide in the late 19th century. He built the mansion on a spot known to draw in medicine men and shamans, as they and Shem heard voices from beyond. Blanchard, Project Janus's head of security, mentioned that he heard rumours of the mansion from his grandfather, calling it the Murder Mansion. Shem poisoned himself and his followers in a final ritual meal, similar to the real-world Heaven's Gate cult. In the ending cutscene, we also learn Shem wanted to seize the mound, meaning the hill where the mansion was built, and needed the horned key to become immortal. We don't know much about this, but it is similar to the previously mentioned Gates of Duat, which led to Egyptian heaven. More recently, Treyarch teased a few images of the mansion, including a framed painting of an old man in some particularly striking robes. The robes are an identical match to those worn by members of the Order. If this man is in fact Shem, it is possible that he created a splinter group of the Order after being spoken to by whatever entity was calling to him from the Dark Ether. We have also seen in the most recent trailer that the new enemy type Dark Disciples also wear these robes. Could they be Shem and his cult? We have a couple of ideas on who or what could have called out to Shem. The first is that it's the real Samantha Maxis. We know she became stuck in the Dark Ether about 5 years prior to the map taking place, but also that time dilates in there too. If she called out, it may have sent ripples back throughout the past. The second idea is that it's the Shadowsmiths, mentioned in the ending of MWZ. Ava's twin entity calls out to Ava that she is still being searched for by these Shadowsmiths. We also know that Ava visited Liberty Falls and was pulled into the Dark Ether by something. If we were to get a follow-up on Ava or the Shadowsmiths, this would be the map to do it. Going back to Treyarch's recently released images of Shattered Vale, we also see... Wait, is that the dinosaur skeleton? Let's go! I called it all the way back in Liberty Falls cutscene that it would be relevant again, yes! The latest COD blog also mentions confronting a tyrant, and Tyrannosaurus Rex means Tyrant Lizard King, meaning boss fight confirmed. The text from the posts also describe an excerpt from Richtofen's personal log. It is as follows. Personal log, Edward Richtofen recording. However ludicrous this idea may have seemed to my younger self, at this point I feel further research is warranted. I will lead this endeavour personally, enlisting only trusted associates to ensure the program does not spiral out of control. After all, you never know who or what may be listening. This research could be many things, including the Sentinel artifacts, the occult, such as Cortifex, or on the mansion itself. However, it might be something that the SAM AI doesn't know about yet, as Edward specifies he doesn't want anyone to find out. And that's all we know. Just under 1 week now until we all start playing, and I'll try and make my next video come out a little bit sooner, especially if the story explodes like it looks like it's going to. And one final thing. We just hit 1 million views on the full timeline video, and I couldn't be happier about it. I'm so grateful to everyone that watched it, so thank you all, and I'll see you after Shattered Vale releases.